There are rappers who rap about the streets. And then there are rappers who are the streets. Dayvon Bennett, known to the world as King Von, represented the streets of Chicago. By the time he was 26 years old, he had been arrested over 30 times and had been charged with murder. He was a man who lived by a code that most of us will never understand. A man who turned the violence of Chicago's South Side into a storytelling gold mine. A man who died in a hail of gunfire on an Atlanta street at 2 a.m., leaving behind a legacy that is projected to be worth $4 million. This isn't just a story about music. It's a story about a family curse, a father killed by a sniper, a mother fighting to keep her son alive, and the impossible math of turning pain into profit. This is the story of the richest hitman the rap industry has ever seen. Once you hear this, you will never listen to a King Von song the same way again. Dayvon Bennett was born on August 9, 1994, in Chicago, Illinois. He was raised mostly by his mother, Tasha, in the Parkway Garden Homes, a neighborhood better known as O Block, the heart of Chicago's drill scene. He had 9 siblings in total, but his father, Walter Bennett, was a ghost, in and out of his life due to his own incarcerations. And when Vaughn was just 11 years old, his father was shot and killed by a sniper from a rival gang. The streets claimed him early. By the time he was 16, Vaughn was in juvenile detention for armed robbery. That was the first of what would become a staggering number of documented arrests. Some say 30, others claim over 40. He was becoming a legend in the streets, just like his father. But in 2014, the legend turned into a monster. In July 2014, Vaughn was charged with 1 count of first-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted murder in connection with a shooting that killed 19-year-old Malcolm Stuckey. He was looking at life. He was looking at the end of the story before it even began. But the streets, and the Bennett name, had other plans. After more than 3 years in Cook County Jail, the witnesses recanted. And in December 2017, King Von walked free. The alleged serial killer had become untouchable. When Vaughn got out, he didn't hide. He didn't run. He picked up a microphone. His friend, ller, another Chicago native who had turned his own struggles into a career, signed him to his label, Only the Family. And in that studio, Vaughn realized that the trauma, the violence, and the death that surrounded his family were his most valuable assets. He wasn't just a gangster. He was an artist. In December 2018, he dropped Crazy Story. It wasn't just a song. It was a cinematic short film compressed into 3 minutes of raw bars. He painted pictures of the streets with a precision that made you feel like you were in the passenger seat. It went viral, racking up millions of views, and was later certified triple platinum. Then came Took Her to the O, another viral hit that peaked at number 44 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was a moment of genius, a song that was both a hit record and a coded message to the streets. Vaughn was serializing his own reality in 3-minute intervals, and the world couldn't get enough. On October 30th, 2020, just 1 week before his death, he dropped his debut studio album, Welcome to O Block. It debuted at number 5 on the Billboard 200. It was supposed to be just the beginning. He was on the verge of superstardom, but the streets had other plans. So how much was King Von worth at his peak? At the time of his death in November 2020, estimates placed his net worth between $750,000 and $1 million. It was modest for a rapper of his stature. But the real story isn't the number. It's the growth. Von also owned assets. He had a home in Atlanta, Georgia. His car collection included luxury vehicles like a BMW and a Rolls-Royce. He had custom jewelry and a clothing line. He was building an empire. But the streets had other plans. Today, his estate is estimated to be worth between $3 million and $4 million. His mother, Tasha, has turned the tragedy of her son's murder into a corporate empire. She's released 2 posthumous albums, What It Means to Be King and Grandson, both of which charted on the Billboard 200. The Bennett family didn't just survive the streets, they monetized the war. Just 1 week after his album dropped, King Von was at the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta. Also there that night, rapper Quando Rondo, an artist signed to NBA YoungBoy's label. The 2 crews had been engaged in a brewing and online beef. Accounts differ on who started it, but at around 3 a.m., a physical altercation broke out between Von and Quando's crew. Surveillance video released from that night shows a fight break out before shots are fired. King Von was struck multiple times. He was rushed to the hospital but was pronounced dead on arrival. He was 26 years old. The man who had survived over 30 run-ins with the law and a murder trial couldn't survive a single night in Atlanta. In the chaos, 22-year-old Timothy Lil Tim, a member of Quando Rondo's entourage, was identified as the shooter. He was arrested and charged with felony murder. But in 2023, the murder charge against him was dismissed. The shooting was ruled as self-defense. The violence, it seemed, would never end. In 2024, Lil Durk was arrested in Florida, charged in connection with a murder-for-hire plot stemming from the ongoing feud with Quando Rondo. Prosecutors alleged that Durk, along with OTF associates, had attempted to carry out a hit on Quando Rondo in Los Angeles in August 2022, an attack that tragically resulted in the death of Quando's cousin. King Von's story is over, but the story of his wealth is just beginning. He was a boy from the projects who became a man in a cell, who became a star on the stage, who became a legend in death. He didn't live long enough to enjoy his millions, but he built a foundation that will support his family for generations. What do you think? Is King Von's legacy about his music or the tragedy of his death? Who should I break down next? Drop their name in the comments. If you want to understand how your favorite artists really build wealth and how they navigate the war between music, money, and the system, hit subscribe to Wealth Wonders. We're building financial freedom one story at a time.